Good evening. Welcome to Rivalz Race Chat. Clinton and Adam here as we get set.
I really want a show bag. Like you brought it, you mentioned it. Like, wow, that sounds so appealing. Now I want one.
You don't have one? I have one for like each show we do on the weekend because I got crap to take around. But yeah, I have a Friday night bag, an APC bag. Okay, well, we can talk about our weekend travel. I'm sure we'll get into that over the weekend. We went to Quebec on a few hours sleep and our first doubleheader to get the season rolling. It was a good time, and we'll discuss that and all the bells and whistles and fun that goes with that. The winner of that race, Andrew Ranger, is going to join us here shortly, so that's awesome. We also have Tyler Willard going to join us from the dirt Maryville side of things and in the Niagara history, the Willard name and what Tyler's been up to and his stories. Cool. We'll talk to him. Kyle Steckley's going to join us, talk about his doubleheader weekend coming up. Statler, Waldorf, and Canada Joel will explain what that is later on, plus our Burger Run video of the week and a few other fun topics that we will talk about throughout the show. I got my NASCAR Canada hat on, so let's jump right into that. If Andrew's ready to go, bring him to us, Spencer. Andrew Ranger won the Bud Light 300 at Autodrome Chaudier in Quebec. Andrew, welcome to the program. Thank you for joining us, and how are you doing today now that you're a winner again?
Hello, everyone. Very happy to be here tonight. It was a big weekend for us this weekend. Win the Bud Light 300. It was a long way. That the last time I won there, it's in 2022 in Valley Junction. So it's been a while, but I was happy just to win another race in Quebec in front of my family, friends, and sponsors. So it was good to be back to put the 27 back in the lead.
Andrew, you've been to a lot of races with NASCAR Canada. Have you ever seen a crowd that big for one of our oval races?
My God, it was just amazing. Sold out. The grandstand was full. Really nice weekend. I was surprised to see many people like that. But like you said, it's the promoter of the Autodrome Chaudière did a lot of really good job there, and a lot of people camped there, show up. So it was fun to see that.
Andrew, so Adam and I are from Ontario, right? We grew up racing in Ontario. We're amazed by the passion of the French crowd there and how they're like at the end of the race. And when you're in the podium, half an hour almost after you won the race, they're still chanting, Andrew, Andrew. It was crazy. When you're hearing the driver intros, my question for you is, we were debating this at dinner with the TSN crew, who got the biggest ovation? So maybe you got to fill us in. Who, in your opinion, gets the biggest ovation at a race like that from the French crowd? Who's the favorite? And who is the bad guy to the French folks over there? That's what we were trying to debate. So maybe you can bring us up to speed on, just for fun. Obviously not trying to cause no hard feelings, but who do you think gets the best reception, and who do you think better watch their P's and Q's on the track?
Oh boy, it's a good question, but just for but I think, like you said, the fans there were amazing. Like you said, when they announced my name, the crowd were like crazy a little bit. It was fun to hear. Same thing with Marc-Antoine Camira. But everybody need to know that the crowd there, I don't want to say half the people, they're from Payet shop, but a lot of people were there. He brings a lot of people. So, but my family, just friend and family, when they had the chance to see us there, the Quebec driver, we bring a lot of people, and it was fun to see that in the grandstand and to hear that. And but I will not respond to the next question though.
That's okay.
That's fair. Andrew,
Adam, you answer then. Adam, you answer that. Who would you say had the best reception, and who do you think get booed? Because we were talking about it.
Andrew Ranger is the people's champion. When you go to Quebec, the blue-collar people love Andrew Ranger. Fancy people love Alex Tagliani. It's a different type of mentality, because Andrew would go to the dirt track and that's his background. Those are the people that love Andrew Ranger. They can relate to him. People love Alex Tagliani for what he's accomplished and what he's done, but it's kind of a fancier fan base. If there's a villain there, I would say Donald Teague is the villain. He's been around a long time. He's ruffled feathers over the course of his career, and he's won some races, so he wears that black hat well. But it depends where you go. You go to Trois Rivières, and LP Dumoulin is the man.
Yeah.
There's a lot of but that's what's so much fun in Quebec is you have those roles, and you have the crowd to back it up, and it's just so passionate and exciting. There's no loser. There is no bad guy. Whether you're Kevin Lacroix, Marc-Antoine Cameron, that crowd knows all of them. They're very Alex Lebay. They're very aware. So that would be my take, without hurting anyone's feelings. I mean, you all have a role to play.
Hey guys, it was fun to see the crowd there, and I was so happy because the promoter put a lot of energy to announce that on the radio, newspaper, and everything. And when I looked at, I don't want to say in Ontario, like the oval track that we go, it's not full, but it would be very nice to see that example in Sunset when we race there, and Delaware. It's sold out too. It's a lot of people, but to see the crowd there in Valley Junction was just amazing. And you know what? It's really far from where we race normally, but every time we race there, it's sold out. So you know what? It's nice to see.
Yeah, a lot. So let's talk about the race, Andrew. I want to talk about the second half of the race. You showed in the first half at the end you had a lot of speed. Did you think that race had gotten away from you when we were down to 40, 50 laps to go and you were in third spot?
Yeah, I was, you know what, when we finished the first 150, I finished, I think, second there before the pit stop. And I knew that my car was fast at the end of the race. So I said, Ma, you know what, I think I would probably save my stuff and try to do something at the end. When the green flight came out for the second half, I took the lead there a little bit, but the 74 of Kevin Lacroix was definitely fast. Camera too, and they were like very, very fast. And I was confused a little bit. I talked to my spotter, my crew chief, because I should push harder or what I need to do, you know, because I know that it's hard on the tire there in Valley. So, and in the same time, I looked behind me. LP Dumoulin was like not catching me, was just behind me, trying to save his stuff too. So I say, look, I will do some laps and see what happened at later. But when I looked at the laps, you know, I said to my spotter, I said, how many laps to go? How many laps? And he told me 40 laps. You need to push harder. So it's there where I start to push. And I catch those guys, and I was able to pass them at the end. But I was worried a little bit, but I was like calculate my tire, my car, and try to play my cards there to the end.
Andrew, let's talk a bit about your team. You know, multi-car. You know, I part of my deal there, we watch Etienne Klitsch when he's up to it, and like he's got 4 radios on, all the stuff going on there. How are you finding the dynamic of the new guys and the new kind of association, if I can call it that?
Yeah, it's you know, guys, it's my first time in my old career that I have a team based in Quebec. You know, so I'm able to go there at the shop almost every week. And I can tell you something that I don't want to say that something they don't work hard, but my team work really, really hard. They are there full time. Sylvain Lacroix is working 7 days a week. He's always at the shop, and Etienne do a really good job too. He bring all of his experience, you know, in the cup. So with all that little detail, we were able to make some tests on the oval and road course, and we showed that we with all the energy that everybody brings, we were fast. So I know we just did like 2 races, one in the road course and the oval, but every time we are in the track, we are in the top 4 or top 3. So it's very nice to see that, and everybody worked really hard at the shop.
Andrew, I got the chance to talk to you during the day on Saturday, and there was a noticeable difference. You were smiling, you were light, you were just happy to be there. How big a difference? What Andrew Ranger are we going to see when we go to Newfoundland? Like, this has to be a huge confidence boost for you.
Oh yeah, a lot. You know, it's I won so many races in the NASCAR Penty Series, but last year really hurt me. With WMI, we did some great race, but we have like bad luck, and we could finish. But every time we something broke in the car, we proved that we were fast, but we're not able to finish. So mentally, it was tough. But you know what? To win in Vallée Jonction, to prove to everybody that the 27 is he's there, able to fight every weekend and win here. It's a big boost for Newfoundland. You know what? If we are able to finish the race and put that 27 back on the box, in the podium, at the end of that, we maybe have a shot on the championship. But right now, I'm going to the next race by race, and try to do my best there.
I don't want to go back, but I got two questions still about the past. One about last year and then one about on the weekend. So let's go back here. At any time, we always attribute it from the media side as you just had bad luck. Was there any time in that crappy period, let's call it that, where you felt like, hey, man, am I losing my touch? Maybe this isn't my game anymore. Did you ever doubt yourself through all that process, or did you just kind of like us, like we never wrote you off? We all figured out, well, it's just crappy luck.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, a little bit of both. It's a point that when you don't finish, you say, "Wow, this is my fault. I did something wrong." I still the same guy. I'm a winner. I normally finish in top 3, win some race, and every time that we broke there, we were P3 leading or something. So I was like worried about that, and sometimes it play on your head a little bit. So and I was more worried too with the sponsorship. Jean-Claude Payet, he's a good friend of mine, but in the same time, I was worried, say, oh, is this coming back? You will coming back with me next year? Yes or not? I want to do my best, but that I'm a good driver, but I'm not bring the results. So I was a little bit worried. But just to when Lacroix and Matthew Kingsbury came with a nice program like that, and Jean-Claude Payet said, yes, I'm coming back with you 100%. So I say, wow, this is my chance again to do well, and try to do well this year and prove that I'm a good driver, and try to do my best every weekend, and finally win this weekend. It's a pressure that came down a little bit.
Adam, I just want to ask, the one question I got, Adam, is about the rear ends, and then we'll move on. So the rear ends seem to get tore up at that place. That was the other question as we're sitting around having dinner and flying home. Why is that place so tough on the rear ends in these cars?
I would probably say the nice banking. It's a nice banking. We came pretty deep in the corner. We pulled the throttle like pretty fast and hard. So maybe mechanical, it's hard. I'm the driver. I'm not the engineer, but I'm sure that somebody can ask you. You'll be able to ask you more, but I'm sure for driving style, we never stop. Seriously, we push hard. We came really deep in the corner. As soon as the car has some grip, we can go back on the throttle pretty hard. So it's really hard mechanical side.
Thank you.
And so I'm told between Chaudière and Edmonton are the two track where they run the tallest gear. So the two tracks that are the hardest on the rear end gears. Andrew, I've only got one more question for you. It was so exciting to watch you come into the series in 2007 and win that championship. And there's always been a couple of drivers from Quebec. This weekend, 17 of the 21 racers were from Quebec. And I've never seen that many quality cars at the track. How do you feel about being the driver who led that charge? You were there before Tagliani, Dumoulin, all sorts of Quebec involvement, Kevin Lacroix. How exciting is it that if you want to be a racing star in Quebec, you need to run this series because that's where the stars are? Yeah,
exactly. When it was a big decision when I was an IndyCar driver in that time in 2006. and my sponsor in the time, Tide and Walmart, really want to do the change to open wheel to stock car. It was definitely a big change for me. So, but with the name of NASCAR coming here in Canada, they want to be there 100%, and we make a nice partnership with Dave Jacob, and it's just something that I'm proud because I bring some big name in the series. Like a guy like Jacques Villeneuve, Alex Tagliani, Patrick Carpentier race in the series too. All of the big guys in Quebec. So like you said, we are 17 driver from Quebec on 22 cars or something. So this is fun to see, and I was the first Quebec driver to make the jump and win the championship too in the first season. So I was more happy about that.
Andrew, moving forward, what race excites you the most? What place are you looking forward to going to this season?
But the first, it's where I just won this weekend, Vallée Jonction. It's in Quebec. I really like a place, a nice oval, nice banking, a place that I can run on the outside. And guys, that I feel comfortable to run on the second line. So this is the kind of track that I really like. Road courses are very important. They are Grand Prix, they are big events, a lot of cars. I really like Moss Sports, but every time I race there in CTMP, it's sometimes it's a little bit hard for me to finish well. But we always qualify good, practice good, but sometimes we have some bad luck. But it's there where you need to survive. But I really look for Antigonish, Nova Scotia. This is a track that I really like. Very fast, nice banking. And we are racing there on Saturday and Sunday too. So it's got to be a big weekend for the 27 car.
Well, now I do have one more question. Andrew, you lapped the whole field at Riverside except for second place.
Yeah.
But you've only got 150 laps in these double headers or 250 lap races. How much of the field can you lap this time?
I would try to. You know what? The competition is very hard now in the NASCAR pit. I don't want to say that it was not hard, but when we raced there and I lapped to the second, I think we did like 200 laps with no caution or something like that. So it's depend how the yellow came out, how many all the laps came, but whatever. It's I will try to do my best there, and if I can be the leader and lap to the second, I will do it again.
There you go. Andrew, thanks for hanging out with us. Congratulations. It's good to see that smile back.
But thank you very much, guys. Thanks.
Thanks, Andrew. Have a good night. It's great, Adam, when you see these guys who have such good talent and then such bad luck, and then to get it back, it was a pleasure to be in Victory Lane as part of the crew there on Saturday and see the emotion firsthand and get to just, be right there and see it and feel it. It was awesome. And what a great ambassador, Can't pick a better dude than Andrew.
He was very emotional. You want to watch this race this weekend on TSN. You can see how important it was. And Clint, I'm not joking. If you think about it in terms of any kind of racing you want, think about Ontario, think about New York. All these Quebec hot shoes have converged on one series. The best of the best, the absolute best of the best. Kevin Lacroix, Cameron, Tagliani, LP Dumoulin, JF Dumoulin, although he's backed off in recent years. But we're so fortunate to see. I'm not taking anything away from DJ Kennington, from Jason Hathaway, from Trayton Lapsovich, Scott Steckley. But I'm saying in Quebec, all of those names converge. In Ontario, it's a bit different. We got Matt Williamson behind the wheel of a modified. We have Dylan Westbrook in a sprint car. We have Charlie Sandercock in a late model. Those are all elite level drivers. They don't converge. They don't intersect at any point.
Yeah.
But all these elite drivers do.
But, it brings up a scary point, Adam. Like, you and I are both passionate about the series. We follow it. We're, you've been the voice of the series since forever. But the stat you said there frightens me a bit when you said 17 out of 21 drivers were from Quebec. Like, and that's flack from the Ontario. I don't even know how to put it. From the Ontario side of things, is like, oh, it's becoming an all Quebec series, and like how do you keep it national if everybody's from Quebec? And it's not a Quebec problem. It's fantastic that Quebec's got that much in. How do you get the how do you get the Ontario guys back involved? How do you get more of the Josh Collins from the East Coast and the Chantal Cleese from the West Coast to travel in more like the guys who did back in the day?
Mike is absolutely right. You need funding. Spencer, if you can show a bit of that clip again from Chaudière. We could not host a race in Ontario and draw that crowd, no matter how much advertising they did on the radio. We live in a different culture. Look at this crowd, and I'll tell you, there's 20 some odd rows of seats. You're only seeing the bottom quarter of the grandstands, and they are all full. They live in a different culture where motorsports is still cool. Whether you like it or not, car racing in Ontario is not cool right now. We are in a different cultural shift. It's not what people go and do on the weekends. I still love it. You still love it. The people watching our show, you all still love it as well. But it's not mainstream, and it's not. Listen, I love Ontario. I've lived here a long time. We cannot get people to come and watch any events. What events sell out in Ontario aside from the Toronto Maple Leafs? Right?
I don't know.
Marlies, they don't sell out. It's a different culture. I don't know how you get it back. But as we travel to different provinces, what I'm excited about is thank goodness we have Quebec. Thank goodness we have Alan Labrosse, who's going out there to sell this sport. Because our next big move, Clinton, is nowhere but Montreal. That is the next big nut that needs to be cracked.
I get it, but if you have a talk with Alan Labrosse, who's the Quebec-based manager of NASCAR Canada, he will tell you that Ontario is still a major important market. They want to keep on the ovals. They need to figure out how to get back to sunset in these places because they are important markets. Those are a couple pictures I took right before the race that I sent to Spencer. I think we're 20 minutes before the race was going to start, so people are still down at the concession, but it gives you an idea of what it looked like. But you're right, there wasn't an empty board in the place.
So what do you do, Clinton? You invite VIPs, you invite important decision makers, and you fly them to Chaudière. You fly them to Trois-Rivières. I enjoy going to Sunset Speedway, but I'm not going to impress a lot of corporate people if I take them right now, or the last event we had at Sunset with the NASCAR Canada Series. It's not going to wow a ton of people because that culture is different. Take them somewhere where it is spectacular, get them to buy in. Their money is going to be spent in Ontario. I'm not saying Sunset can't or Delaware can't. I'm not saying any of those can't. I'm saying it's a process. You've got to get people to buy in, and it'd be a hell of a lot easier to do that at GP3R or Chaudière, not ICAR. ICAR is a fun event as well. Different. Go where it's hot. Like if you want to impress people, I believe APC just took people to the Monaco Grand Prix, Clint.
Yeah, but
they didn't go to the second.
Yeah, but that's like saying I took them to the Super Bowl to impress them to sponsor the JV league in town. It's a different situation. I know where you're coming from. We are taking it a bit of a different level on your street. So what you asked, what do you do? How do you change it? Well, I think one of the things to do is what we're doing here, streaming, getting it out there to the masses, getting people to be interested, make it a 52-week sport as best we can so people don't forget about it for 6 months of the year. But you're right. And what we've done from the Oshweekend side is we have a guy like Mike Morris, who's a fantastic sales guy. He is working on these corporations and saying more than just buying a billboard. How do we get 40 employees out here every night and trying to build it, as Glenn would say, ground and pound? So lots of different ways to go about it. It's awesome to see that they're crushing it in Quebec, and we'll continue to bring you those updates as we move around the country this summer to get things done. But I think the series is healthy. The race was great. The action was fantastic. Good deal.
We say it all the time. It's hard to get people to show up to an event. It's even harder to make them want to come back. Like you have to get that. And Clinton, let's be perfectly frank here. We all sat at Ashweekend for the first race of the year and said, holy shit, where did these people come from? The crowd was huge. But when you have 120 race car drivers and probably 70 of them are helping to promote on social media and pumping things up, that is what leads to that. That's what creates it. I'm actually getting a little bit tired of people. Well, Glenn Stires has so much money. That's why they do well. Bullshit. Glenn does have a lot of money, it would seem, but that has nothing to do. He has fostered a culture where people want to promote it. People want to be a part of something great. They want to help it thrive, and they do.
Speaking of Glenn, one thing that really pisses me off about when people bring up Glenn and say, oh, well, look at all the money he's got. Maybe. But you and I, Adam, lived through a time when Glenn had to borrow money from his mom to make payouts. He wasn't always this way. He got this way when we all knew him. So there's nothing to be jealous about in that situation. He worked his balls off to get where he was. He wasn't born with a golden spoon in his mouth or given any major opportunities. He had one truck when we met him, a black dually with the fenders kicked in on it, right? Like, that's how it was. Yep. So I'm like, it's not everybody talks about G that way, but I don't know. I don't get it. But we're getting ready to jump into our second guest, Tyler Willard, who's going to join us here when Spencer brings him. I hope we get it going. Napper was trying to get this going for him, and it looked good from what I saw. All right, is that going to work, Spencer? I'll tell him to connect now.
And then, I want to share my.
Go ahead.
I want to
share. Is it a long story or short story?
It's a long story, man. First time in 25 years I've ever been asked to leave someone's pit. 25 years.
That's a good one. That's a good one.
I turned and I left.
Yeah, I just wonder if we should get into that right now, or if we should save that discussion, because that's going to be a good one. Quickly, want to mention, while it's on the rundown, Statler, Waldorf, and Canada Joe. That's you, Greg, and Joe Plazik this Friday night in the Ashweekend booth. Joe Plazik's going to stop by. Mike Morris said, hey, it's cool. Joe, do you want to interview him? And I said, no, we want him in the booth for as long as he wants to be color commentating. So excited to have Joe Plazik in the booth. He's done a lot of things on the dirt. Obviously, the connection to Ashweekend, brother-in-law Jamie, and uncle to Corey and Ryan Turner. But excited to hear what Joe's take is. I think he maybe raced there once in all the years at Ashweekend. So excited to hear Joe's take. I know he watches every week.
He is so relevant, considering how long it's been since he was out of the car. But there's someone who can help you sell the sizzle. It was always a big deal when Canada Joe rolled in.
Yep, for sure. All right, we're ready to go with Tyler Willard. The boys are getting the car ready to go for Friday night at Ashweekend. Kevin Knapp set this up, and I've known these guys a long time. My old party buddies are going to join us now. Tyler's got a good story, though. Tyler, welcome. How's it going, man? All right, we got him muted. We're close.
Okay. Either Tyler, either you're muted.
Tyler's got him muted, probably. No.
Nope.
Fix him up, Spencer. We'll get back to you.
Spencer will take him in the back, whip him into shape. There we go.
All set up and ready to go. Hey, got us now, Ty?
You there? You hear me?
Yeah,
man. How's it going?
Yeah, awesome.
So,
it's been a while.
Tyler, you grew up in Niagara. We watched you grow up. You actually started your career at Ashweekend in a Thunderstock with Mikey Grant back in the day. We watched you go through Sportsman, now in Big Block Modified, now in Sprint Cars. Welcome to the program.
Yeah, I appreciate it. It's been a blast getting started and learning. It's definitely a different animal, but we're having a lot of fun with it.
Tyler, I'm not used to watching you race in the middle of the pack. I mean, you've always been successful. How tough is it for you in your mind to have to go out there and kind of climb this ladder again? Why is it so much different, or how is it different?
I think it's a little bit of both dynamics. When you going from sportsman to modified, it's a lot similar to sportsman with your throttle, with it being a crate motor, but the speeds are the same as a modified, so I think we've got a bit of an advantage. But that top wing is definitely different. The stagger, the setup, we don't have a Maxim notebook or nothing to really go off of, or a GSR notebook. We're just trying to figure it out with our old chassis here. And, I think we're making progress. There's a lot of good cars out there. There's a lot of good guys, and we're finding our way.
Tyler, I was talking to one of my buddies in the business, and your name came up because we were talking about the hard charger. Congratulations on that. He was the hard charger there last week, and the Janie towing hard charger. I should mention that. Tyler, and I was explaining a bit about your story, and I remember when you were, man, you're probably in your young 20s, and you were successful, you were crushing it in the Sportsman, and you said, I'm quitting. And I said, what do you mean? And you said, I don't want to end up like Danny Johnson in a trailer living when I'm 60, still racing for $500 a night trying to make a mortgage payment that I don't have. So you were very mature. You went off, got a career, started a business, got everything going the way you needed to be, got yourself established, built a life, and then came back modified and now sprint car. Maybe just talk about that, because you aren't the guy on paper that any of us would have thought based on your family. Let's look back. Billy Willard, Uncle Billy, was the winningest sportsman driver in the history of dirt car for a long time. Auntie Tammy, legend, obviously, in the Sportsman for many years too. Uncle Guy, cousin BJ, the list goes on. I'm sure I'm leaving some of the family out, but man, what? Obviously, your brother.
Yeah.
So Cody McPherson, craziness. But, so how tough was it you to walk away from the lifestyle that your whole family lived all these years for multi-generations and say, I'm not going to do it in what would, on paper, be the prime of your career?
It wasn't that I didn't want to do it. I think it was understanding a lot of the opportunities that you hope to get weren't there. And there's only so many ways to go big block racing and to go sprint car racing and to do it. And it takes a lot of money. I didn't think I was going to get the opportunities to do it for the way I wanted to do it without working hard and making the money to do it myself. Which is, we're still working at that goal. We've started our own business. We built a family, we built a house, and still been lucky enough to dabble as much as we have, to go big block racing, to have this opportunity with the sprint car, even driving Sportsman last year and going back to 358 years ago. I mean, I wish we could have done more racing, but we were busy. We were building a business. We were building a life, got married, kids, all that stuff. And I wouldn't change it for the world. And hopefully we make, good money here and keep our sponsors happy, and hopefully we can get ourselves to a point where we've got a couple cars and a nice little motorhome to travel with, and the kids and the family are a big part of it. Without my wife Tara and the sport she has, I wouldn't be able to do this, right? Especially with the kids. Soccer practice tonight, we went and Tara picked them up, I dropped them off, and it's a balance, work-life balance. And I knew from a young age it wasn't going to get handed to me. And it was going to take hard work, and it is starting to pay off, and we're getting more opportunities, and we're getting our stuff together. And we faced some adversity. Losing Mikey was tough. He was always the guy in my corner. Like you say, right from 15 years old, running up to Schweigen and hoping to win, because we had to make enough smoke money to buy smokes for everybody that he borrowed money from to go up there to go racing, because that's what he used to pay for the gas, right? So if he didn't win, some guys weren't getting their smokes that week. So to come from that and to be where we are, I'm proud. And I can't thank everybody that's done it all through the years that's helped me, my aunt and Larry. I just can't thank them enough.
Tyler, I was going to ask you what success looks like in racing the crate sprint, but I don't want you to answer that, because you just told us in the last 2 minutes what success looks like. I mean, I'm nobody, but I'm proud of what you've done, because I've seen a lot of racers forsake a family and growing a successful career and a lot of those things just because it is glorious to go out there and be something on a Saturday night or a Friday night. But you should be applauded for where you put your focus.
I appreciate that. And that comes a lot from my grandfather, Alan. We lost him this year, and that's been really tough. But that was instilled from a young age. He always had the race car as the race car. He always ran it as a business. Right from 8 years old, we went and seen the sponsors together. We pulled the car around with the lawnmower, and he was the one who taught me how to scale a race car on grain scales. And then my Uncle Bill, eventually, right, we got into scaling cars on normal electronic scales now, but it all started with him, and family first. Your house, your bills, your family, that was always first, and racing was second, but it was a really close second. It was always a really close second. That's for sure.
Tyler, let's talk about your race program. I know Nap works hard, and where is Kevin? Bring him on for a second. Kevin's got to be kicking out
He's
somewhere.
around here somewhere.
He's working. All right. If he's working, It's all right. Let's talk about High Soon. What they've done. You had some reps at the Oswego Speedway last opener. Bringing in some new companies. What was that like? Did they have a good time?
Yeah, that was great. That's been a big part of Kevin's been helping us out. Honestly, the day after Mikey passed, there was a case of brake clean at my front door with his phone number. It said, call me. And from that day on, I honestly don't know what I would have done without him. That was a tough grieving process. And, we're still getting over it. But without Napper, it would have made it a hell of a lot tougher, I'll tell you that. He's at the house 3 days a week. My girls treat him like an uncle. And he works for Yale, so he's in and out of these businesses daily, fixing tow motors at Coca-Cola and at Vanest and at a lot of big corporations, and that's where the Heisen came up. He fixes their tow motors and got talking to the maintenance guys, which led to the general manager, and next thing you know, we've got a four-wheeler to use, which we needed. We were going sprint car racing, so it worked out, and they've been great to us. They provided us with a side-by-side this year. They let us rig it up with our toolbox. It's not quite the Kawasaki Mule that you see going around, but man, it works for us. It's awesome. I think it's an affordable option for guys that are trying to do it and can't really, go out and spend $30,000 on a pit cart, right? A lot of guys don't have that option, and this really is an affordable way to do it. And like I say, they've been great people to us. They came out, had a great time. More of them came back this week, brought their families. So like I say, we can't thank them enough, and hopefully we can keep networking. Everybody we see, we tell them what we're doing, and a lot of people are interested. A lot of people want to get on board, and hopefully we can help the sport grow. You see a lot of guys doing it, right? With Kyle Larson and Brad Sweet, and you guys yourselves have done nothing but great for the sport and growing it, and thank you guys, you know what I mean? So hopefully we can do our part and keep that going.
That's it, man. We all have a small part.
I got one more thing for you. So show those pictures I just sent if you can, Spencer. I found a picture of the mule quickly while you're talking about it. So if you get those up, Spencer, while he's looking for those, Ty, there's the unit that they set you guys up. Pretty cool. Got the toolbox in the back. I saw you got the wheels up, mount up top now too. So it's a cool deal. Happy to have a new company involved, and good on you guys. Question time. My last thing for you before we roll into Kyle Steckley next. What does a successful sprint car season look for you? What kind of goals do you guys set to walk away happy?
Honestly, we're focusing on that BRP modified tour. The big block deal is kind of our deal. So fortunately, we're going to have to miss a couple races, which kind of takes us out of the points. So our main focus right now is getting dialed in, finding some speed, and then being there for the nationals, being there for the big events, and being there every Friday we can. Obviously, family, other commitments, other racing takes us other places. But, when we got a free Friday night, there's nothing like going up to Oswego and ripping laps. Some of the most fun I've had lately is getting to rip the cushion around there. I hadn't ventured up there yet. We've been taking our time getting up there. And there's nothing like it. There's nothing like ripping the lip at Ohsweken.
That's awesome, man. Tyler, thanks for spending some time with us. Always look forward to seeing you on the track.
Appreciate it. Thank you, guys.
Thanks, Ty. One of the good guys in the sport, man. I've known this kid since he was like 14, and man, I think when him and Mikey Grant come out, those old guys with him, then Cody drove the car, Shane Pierce drove the car, the 33. I'm drawing a blank. He drove the car. I mean, that car was a rocket ship of a Camaro. One of the first Camaros that really came in and started kicking ass, and they had it dialed in. Man, what a great show it's been so far. Two great hot shoes and the third one stepping up now. Everybody's got busy schedules going on, as you can imagine, and no busier than this guy's coming next. Kyle Steckley's back with us tonight. And, man, you know, I wonder if Kyle, you ever get sick of asses like us bugging you all the time, 3 days a week, come on our shows? And, you know, I know we're not the only one, so you got to be doing 6 to 8 of these things a week. Is it fun or do you hate it? You can tell us, honestly. Like, I would tell Adam if I was sick of having to deal with him. So you can tell us if you're sick of having to deal with it, too.
No, it's all good. It's part of it. And I have a lot of fun coming on here and talking about what I'm doing in the racing world. So I don't mind it at all.
No, we appreciate it. But, Kyle, this weekend you're going home, man. Flamborough Speedway.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. It's been a while since I raced at Flamborough, and I feel we had a bit of an off year there last year. So looking to go back to Flamborough with some new stuff this year, and hopefully get back in victory lane there in the APC series and turn our luck around a little bit.
You know, Flamborough's a tough thing. Why you like it? A lot of drivers, it's not their favorite place because it is tough. And it is hard to pass sometimes. Why is it a place you like to go to?
I just love it, man. It's so much fun. It promotes hard racing, and it's super hard to pass. So I think that's very rewarding. It fits my driving style. You can go hard pretty much all 100 laps. So that's fun for sure. And, you know, it's just been home. That's where I started my stock car career. And, you know, I've been racing there a lot of years. So it's fun to always go home.
So Kyle, we asked you about that. Good. Let's put that behind us because I want to talk about the weekend after. Have you got your plan laid out? Peterborough Saturday. Now, will you be in Milwaukee Friday or is it? Talk about that weekend because you got 2 races to run. One is in Peterborough, Ontario. One is in Milwaukee, Wisconsin.
Yeah, well, there's a third one actually. I've got Friday night in Madison, so that's gonna make it tricky for sure. Luckily, Madison's a one-day show on Friday, so we'll get that in and done with. And originally, Milwaukee on Sunday was gonna be a one-day show as well, which, you know, was gonna fit in okay. And we're gonna go back to Peterborough on Saturday and be able to practice, qualify, and race. And now the Milwaukee schedules came out, and there's practice there on Saturday. So that makes it a little entertaining, a little tricky for me, but it's looking like I'm going to be missing practice and qualifying on Saturday in Peterborough. But we'll be there for the race as long as all goes smoothly, and get the practice in Milwaukee and then head over to Peterborough and see what we can do there, start from the back. And then as soon as that race is over, we'll head back to Milwaukee and see what we can do on the final track there on Sunday.
Okay, before we get into how you're going to teleport between all these races or rocket ship or UFO or whatever you're going to do, underground tunnels, I don't know, man. Why not just forsake the APC series? And I'm not saying that because we broadcast it, we're partners in it, I get it. But the easy answer would be miss Peterborough. Why is the APC series so important to you to make all this effort to come back? And I know Luke and, hey, we love having you in the program too. But why do it?
Yeah, it's just special. It's a great series. There's a lot of great competition there. I feel it's, you know, helped me build who I am as a race car driver on and off the track. And, you know, I want to go back to back. That's one of the main reasons I want to go back to back and be the first one to win back to back championships. Sunset wasn't a great finish for me, but, you know, that's one of my worst tracks. So we're going to keep building and hopefully have a good run at Flamborough and excited to be back at Peterborough as well. So, especially Peterborough, it's a track that I have a lot of fun at. We got the win there last year, so yeah, just want to go back to back, and APC is obviously a huge part of my racing career, and supporting their series is a big deal. So yeah, just love racing up here in Canada and with all the guys that I've been racing with. So I didn't want to leave that behind with all my new ventures.
Kyle, I had the chance to talk to your dad for a while in Quebec, and I kind of asked him what his role was, and your dad's got a smile that he gives whenever he gives that smile, you're not sure what's about to come out of his mouth and how, like, he's about to lead me down a path. But I don't think he did this time. I said, what kind of a role do you take on when you're traveling in the States? Like, are you crew chief? Are you a spotter? He says, no, he's just the shock guy. He takes the shocks on and off the car, and he says that's about it. He's close enough to be there, but he's like, your dad's a freaking Hall of Famer, man. He's a multi-time champion, and you got him sweeping the trailer floor or what? Talk about his role when you go ASA racing.
No, he's there. He's a big help for sure. He's helping out on the crews, and he's right there with us making decisions. So he gives his input, and me and Mark have a great thing we're building between the two of us. So Dad's been great helping, me transition to someone new. It's been me and Dad against everyone since day one of my racing career. So it's definitely a learning curve, and working with Mark Rett and the whole Rett Jones racing crew has been a learning curve for both me and Dad. And I think we're both taking well. We're both a huge part of the team still, and making decisions as a group.
Okay, elephant in the room. How are you going to make it happen? What's the travel plan? How's this going to go? I'm trying to message Abby to see if he hired Abby to drone him in, but what's the plan, or what can you tell us?
Yeah, so we've got a plane. Luckily, because of APC, we've got a plane that's going to get me back to Peterborough, and me and Dad will fly back and then back to Milwaukee, sorry. So luckily, thanks to APC, they've set us up with a plane to get there and back and travel around for the weekend. So very thankful for them, and obviously wouldn't be possible without that type of travel. So that's how it's all going to work. It's going to be tricky, and hopefully the weather and scheduling and all that plays out perfect so we can race at Peterborough Saturday night.
The other thing your dad mentioned to me, and this never occurred to me, racing with the team you're racing for, they have never fielded super late models. You're running, I believe, a Port City car, and you're the only Port City car running ASA. You guys are on an island all by yourself. How have you been as successful as you have when you really don't have, it's not that you don't have support, you don't have a setup book. Like, you guys are building this as you go.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely a little tricky. I think we've got a great group of guys surrounding us, and we're working really hard on the car. We're going testing lots. We're doing lots of stuff to put in the work, and I'm definitely learning a lot. I think Mark's learning a lot. Everyone is as a team with these cars. Mark only did four super late model races with Noah Gregson before I came on this year to do the whole ASA deal with them. So, it's a learning curve. It's definitely, kind of us against the world with a Port City chassis, but we get great support from Gary Crooks and everyone there. So, that's the fun of it too. If you run everybody else's stuff, you're supposed to win when you got the best stuff out there. Not that Gary's stuff isn't good. It's just not the most favorite or most wanted chassis out there at this time. But we're looking to change that, and I think we're going to go out there and keep getting better and better throughout this year. So we're just growing as a team and having a lot of fun while we're doing it.
Right on, Kyle. One last question I got for you. Tell people why they should tune in to the APC Series on Racing America this Saturday at 5:45.
Yeah, I mean, it's Flamborough Speedway. It's hard-nosed racing, tight little track, 100 laps. It's going to be action-packed the whole 100 laps, invert in the front six. So it's going to be entertaining. Hopefully we put on a show and end up at the front. But I know J.R. Fitzpatrick's going to be there, even though he says he's not going to be. So there's going to be some big hitters out there, and it's going to be a fun weekend.
That's awesome. I love what you just did. Kyle, we look forward to seeing you on the weekend, man. Thanks for taking the time to chat with us.
Thanks, guys. See you soon.
All right, Kyle. Wow, man, we had a great show. We were both miserable at noon, and here we are feeling great talking to our racing buddies. It's always good. All right, we got a lot of stuff to cut down. 8 minutes.
Now that our guests are all gone, I'm miserable again. It's just you.
You want to give your rant about the pit stuff, and then we'll get into some fun stuff.
Yeah, whatever. It was 25 years, man. I've never been invited to leave someone's pit area. Went in to have a conversation. Time. We'll get to that. Had a cordial conversation. Then I brought something up that didn't sit well with this driver. And that's fine. Here's my issue. Here's my bone of contention. I'd love to hear people's thoughts on it. Doesn't matter if you do, if you don't. Disagree with me. I'm good with that. Cuss me out if you're mad. I'm good with that. Do not, in my opinion, tell me my opinion doesn't matter until I've spent as much money on racing as you have, or as much money on your racing. Stick that directly up your ass. I've been doing this for a long damn time. I speak about things that I see, that I hear at the track. These are my observations. I have taken a lot of shit in. And, this still bothered me on Saturday. I still have great respect for this racer. And I'm fine with you disagreeing. But I don't have to spend a damn dollar on your race car, my race car, or anyone else's race car to have a valid opinion. And as we're sitting there watching sports all weekend, racers need to realize how freaking lucky they are. Because if you play baseball, they're going to talk about your streak where you can't hit a ball. Or you can't field a ball. And they don't care about your feelings. If you play hockey, God forbid, Clinton, if you play hockey, they're going to talk about the lack of effort you put in on the ice. And I wouldn't dare. I've never. But don't tell me that I can't watch what's going on in a racetrack and have half a clue of what's happening and form an opinion based on that. That pissed me off. Using money that I may or may not have really pissed me off. But as soon as they said in the conversation, it wasn't a fight, but as soon as the point in the conversation came up, I think you should leave now. Clinton, I didn't say another word. I turned around, I walked out. Because that's their space. That's someone's pit spot is their space. They have every right to tell me to leave, to throw me out, whatever they want. I turned around and I left. But I thought the argument was 10 shades of bullshit.
I kind of wish you weren't in a pit box to hear what your response would have been, but I can respect what you've done by not saying anything and walking away. I think, we're paid to have opinions about this. And I think the one thing you brought up there is, racers are very lucky because we tend to coddle our race team. We really do as announcers. We don't want to say nothing bad about nobody. We don't want to say, oh, what a stupid move that was. How dare they make that move? You can't say those types of things. We just don't. We're fairly respectful as announcers. So, hey.
We play the line.
That's what you're
we flirt with that line probably more than most racing people do. But I'm not going to apologize for how I do my passion.
Well, let's talk about that too. The style of presentation we give at Osh Weekend is probably, quote, less professional than you would see at a TSN broadcast. You can't say the things working for Joel that you can say working for Glenn. Fair enough? I mean,
you'd be surprised.
Greg Callan's, well, now you've got the respect and you're a veteran enough that Joel will let you push the line. Joel's our TSN producer who edits that showdown. But we love, I guess you could say me as the manager of the stream and of the Speedway, I love what you guys bring to the booth on Friday nights. And I wouldn't want you guys to change a damn thing about it. The fun aspects, the fact that we are ourselves, and the fact that we talk about every single thing. We got 4.5 hours to kill some nights. We're going to talk about everything and the stuff we go through. And I think the fans relate to it. It becomes like the ongoing shows, like, I don't want to compare us to Howard Stern or Pat McAfee I've gotten into over the last 6 months quite a bit when I'm in my office. I love the inside joke aspect. The people that come up to us across the country and say, hey, have you had a banana yet this week, to me, based on an inside joke we ran last summer. Those are hilarious things. And it connects us and it immerses our fans. So, because I've heard people say that about us. We need to be more professional on the air. And, well, if it's not your cup of tea, go pay for a stream somewhere. That's what I got to say about that. We're giving away free.
Don't get me wrong. I'm good with someone disagreeing. Clinton, you've watched it. In fact, I did. I left that pit area, walked directly into the pit building where the driver's meeting was going on, and I met Alvars for the first time, who I've never agreed with in history. But it's fun. I enjoy that. I don't mind it. A couple of times in the last few years, people have discounted my opinion, and I thought, that's shitty. Because I wouldn't do that to you. There are people I would do that with, but they're usually people who haven't been in the sport very long or might have a new outlook and think, you know what, you need to see a little bit more. You need to understand. You need a little bit of frames of reference to understand how that goes. But I would never look at a Mark De Silva or a Ron Logie or an Alvars. Even. Alvars is a great example because I love to disagree with him, but I will not discount his opinion because he's earned that. I know that I don't know his life story, but I know he's.
Wait a minute. Here we go to Chris says, you won't discount his opinion because he's earned it. Every week you spend 30 minutes trying to discount my opinion on this show?
No, I disagree with your opinion. Once in a while, you say things that are really stupid, and I point them out. Like getting mad at someone who was on fire. Literally on fire. Yeah. And you didn't. Nope,
this family split down the middle. This family split down the middle. You know how many people come up to me and said I was absolutely right? That guy still needs his ass kicked. Find out who that guy is. Anyways, let's move on. We got a few things to get through before we get going. Unless you got something super important to get into. Don't forget, before we get any further, Touch Truck Night Osh Weekend Friday, APC Series is where we'll be on Racing America on Saturday. Let's another big race going on Saturday. Quickly, let's help out the Rinaldi's at Brighton. Show that screenshot I just gave you, Spencer. Brighton Speedway has its 360 Series going on this weekend. Saturday, June 8th, 360 Sprint Cars back at Brighton. The payout for the guys watching, $300 to start, $2,000 to win. So get down and support the Brighton 360 event this weekend. Thank you, Spencer, for showing that. We still have our Burger Barn videos of the week to get through. We got a couple other quick things to get through. Show the Monaco versus Indy passing chart. I think that's what I showed you, Spencer. Let's have a look at that. Yeah.
Indy was a phenomenal race. Indy was entered. I need to address something because this is important. Mary Jane.
Okay.
Clinton is not my friend. He is my brother. There is a big difference. Friends you choose. No. Brothers you can't get rid of. Friends you can't.
Hey, I sat down the plane first. You sat behind me. But just look at this passing chart. Obviously, no comparison. No words need to be spoken there. The first 10 positions didn't change once. F1, do better. All right, let's go on to that. What else we got? Oswego, iRacing releases Oswego. That's cool, Adam. I wonder if you can race the dirt modifieds on it. Show a quick clip of that. I don't know if we need to go through the whole thing. We'll show it. If we can.
I wonder how they show the steel walls.
We're going to be here for a few more minutes. If you're not ready for that, Spencer, that's okay. Larson did get a waiver. Don't necessarily need to see that screenshot. Obviously, they had to give him a waiver right at him. There was no waiver getting around that.
Well, I think NASCAR is legit when they say there was a lengthy conversation because, let's have a look at Oswego Speedway. And we're all love around here. Oh, that's cool. Damn. Okay, so dirt. That's impressive.
Yeah, it's dirt.
Now, granted, that looks a lot nicer than Oswego looks.
The oval and the mini oval configurations. So
that's awesome.
Man, it makes me want to break my wheel out again. I gotta say, I haven't raced in a while, but that makes me want to get back on it. And us Eagles never seen a crowd like that in 50 years either. But
it's been a while.
It looks great on the computer.
But listen, they even got the gnarly bumps, because that place has gnarly bumps. So Clinton, I didn't tell, like, this is allegedly not official. How many times can you say in a video game you know where your parents' ashes are?
That's true. It's true.
That's kind of cool.
That was a good Adam story. Maybe you got to tell that story next week, because you have me pissing my pants laughing about how the whole thing went down. Bob and Dory just, you gave birth to him, okay? It's
right.
Adam's Adam. Mess. You knew this. You knew this your whole life. Adam was Adam. So we'll talk about that. Wow. Okay, quickly before we have some fun, Burger Bar and Vegas to close out the show. Draws to start the year. This could be an hour-long discussion. Watching the videos back, Ryan Beagle starts in a good spot. Fast car, starts up front. Draws 2 weeks. Got a 20-point lead going into the third week when we start handicapping. Is there any other way, Adam, that we should be managing these races so it isn't open draw in a fairway? You can't run handicapping from last year. How do you run it? But then I also look at it that we have other races that are just open, non-handicapped races too. So you can have these races in July, big.
One nice thing about our Fender divisions, that is purist racing. There was no gimmicks. There's no redraws. There's no invert. So you're either pure straight up or pure handicap where the top cars go to the back. And I don't think you want to mess with that. So what we do with the sprint cars is different, right? And there's reasons for it being different. But I think that's a pure kind of racing, what we do. And I don't like seeing Beagle start on the pole. It's horrible. But he earned it. Look what happened last year. Kyle Wirt had the lead early in the points, but regardless, Dave Bailey's the one who came back and won. So it doesn't make for a less compelling storyline. No, I don't want to see gimmicks in every class. Let them be heads up for a couple of weeks.
Yeah, I wasn't looking for a gimmick. I was just, when I looked at it, I was kind of glaring, like, damn, Beagle's already got a 20-point lead on everybody going into the second. It's great to hear Ron Logie, one of his competitors, jump in and say it was fair. We had a redraw. Beagle lucked out. It's just one of those things that, as a promoter, you're like, damn, we want you guys 1, 2, 3, 6, 8 points apart at this point, not with some with a 20-point lead out front. But now, let's face it, he's going to have to come from 18th back damn near every week for the rest of the season to keep that point lead, too. So it gets exciting from that side.
If you want to be a real promoter, you're going to have them pull numbers out of a hat, and you better make sure you're hanging on to the 1 and the 2 when Dave Bailey and Ryan Beagle come to pick. Now, they can pick whatever they want, but maybe you should.
No.
Hey, Nick had a question. I don't know the answer.
Go ahead. What's the question?
Restarts in the last 5 laps. Are they supposed to be single file or double file?
Single within 5 to go.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I thought you only went single file when there was 2 cautions on the same lap, but I don't know the rules, so I should.
Again, I will review. You know what? I'm old, and we see so many races. It's hard for me to figure out what we're doing, and we change these procedures all the time. So that's a question for race director Dave Hunsinger or Doug Leonard. I'll have to clear that up. But I'm pretty sure we went double file till 5 to go in all classes for a billion years. So I don't think we're double file rates at the end, but hey. Yeah, we got a new race director. Shit happens. We're trying to figure it out. Let's jump into Burger Bar and Videos of the Week. Thanks, everybody, for hanging out with some bit of overtime. Let's have some fun. I don't even know what order they're in. I don't know what we're seeing. We send shit in at all hours of the week. Could have been on a plane. Could have been in a hotel. Could have been on no sleep. Run, Spencer, what we got? Oh, look at the balance on this guy. So those are barbells. And I was a big BMXer as a kid. But just look at the talent on this guy. So this is like bicycle gymnastics. But when he gets on the bars, it's unbelievable. And I like that it shows him not making it, so you know it's real.
Yeah.
Wait, it gets better. This blows me away. Oh, didn't make it.
Oh,
Like that. How are you doing that? Or the slack line. Jumping from one slack line to the next and landing it is insane.
I just broke both my ankles watching that.
And this. Oh. But that is some serious skills, man.
Yeah.
That was a ball masher, that one. I didn't like that one. Keep going, Spencer. So anything car-related, bike-related. Okay, this is most like now, Adam, I got one of these bikes in my yard that I never ride anymore. Look at the lean on this guy with no hands.
I'm surprised his nuggets aren't dragging the pavement.
No, look at
You
that.
you gotta have a set on you to do that.
That's crazy. Craziness in riding a bike like that. What else we got? Oh, this is me and you. One Friday. Yeah!
Oh, did you see the nosedive? Oh, another head-on collision.
I'm down.
This beautiful replay. Put it on the Christmas card and send it to your grandmother.
Oh, I gotta hear you say that. Put it on Christmas card and send it to your grandmother. What else we got?
There's no green light.
Oh, Bloomquist for a ton of money.
Jonathan Davenport. Oh, the crossover into one. And Owens, he'll go on the inside. No, are you kidding? Oh, no. He'll have one
That's a
more
good
shot
race
in
car.
turns
Look at
3 and
the-
4.
look at
Sugar
these
flying in
things.
the air. Davenport drives it high. It's not going to be enough. Bloomquist wins his 7th dirt late model dream. He pulls up. There's no green light. There's no green light. 25
That official
pounds
savage.
light. He's 25 pounds light at the scales. And that means the winner of the dirt late model dream is Jonathan Davenport. Wow.
That's awesome. There's no green light. They're screaming. Keep going, Spencer. What else we got?
What's
Maybe
up,
one or
Josh?
two more, I think.
Shane
Oh.
Van Gisbergen getting his first career Xfinity Series win
Now watch the distance
Shane.
on this.
for you. We know road course racing is your bread and butter. Go ahead, my friend. Go ahead. I mean, that's
And
the
he didn't
first
even
right
put
there,
his toe
too.
to it.
Right?
He just little kiss. Probably boot that thing right out of the stadium. Any more, Spence? Oh, it's just cool RC car. So, this is what we're gonna do when we get old out in Arizona. At your trailer park.
All right.
Anything else, Spencer? That might be it. Oh, Formula One car versus a speedway bike on a dirt track.
Why are they going the wrong way?
Well, it's Australia. Even your toilet's flushed the wrong way. Is that it, Spence?
Man, we haven't heard
he can't
Spencer
talk
all
to
night
us today.
long.
If there's one more
It's kinda
roll, if
nice.
not, we'll just keep going that way. I think that may be it. Dave Hunsinger says single. I messed up. So there you go. Should have went single with 5 to go. Great chat. Great everybody for joining us. Great overtime. Thank you, Spencer, for all you do. He's got a lot of stuff on his plate right now and working on getting us back where we need to go. So pretty awesome. Good show. I'm happy with how the night went. You?
That was a good show, man. And then this weekend's great. We're close to home. Ashwegan Friday, Flamborough Saturday. Is it Father's Day Sunday?
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think so. I think it's got to be like the second or third, but Sunday, and I don't think it's yet. 2 weeks from now. Now he's talking to us. Adam, I gotta go though. I just got a very important notice on my phone here. CIBC just said immediate action required. They detected unusual activity on my bank card. So I better go deal with the CIBC account that I don't have.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, you should do that.
Scammers all around. Be careful.
What?
Don't get scammed.
What show was this? 225?
226.
220. Wow, time's flying. That's a long time. I was trying to think about stuff that we've covered on this show because we covered
4.5 years.
Westbrook and Kruger, didn't we? Before the pandemic.
Oh yeah.
We had a show for that.
Gonzalez and Kruger called in.
That was awesome. Oh my goodness. Good times.
You know, we've had a lot of. I was thinking about Joe. We've had Joe Plazik on too a while ago. Who'll be joining us. I'm excited to get his take on, you know, the sprint cars and how this whole era blew up because this all happened since Joe retired. So lots of cool stuff. Thank you, Fran. What hasn't been covered? You let us know and we'll go out and get it. Anybody who wants us to get on the show, we'll try for it. We love talking to racers. There's great stories in everybody's backyard shop, and we love to pull them out.
Richard, that's sick. Why did Clinton and I want to be in the same space?
We used to host that. We did live shows at Turtle Jack's 15 years ago.
Yeah. So we may be on a different night for the next couple of weeks. I suggested we do a drunk show from St. John's, but Clinton and Spencer said no way.
No.
Oh, Spencer says yes now. Democracy wins.
I said we can do it on the plane 4 hours out and back. I'm all about that. That would be a show in itself.
Yeah, well, seeing if you can talk for an hour without throwing up on an airplane.
Hey, I didn't throw up once on the weekend. I felt great all weekend, I'll have you know, which is good for my anxiety because that's the only thing I get anxiety about is puking on everybody.
Yeah, true enough. I was going to throw you under the bus there, Clinton, but the show is mostly over. I'm not going to do it.
Can I get a little bit of credit that I was able to fit in my TSN suit that I had needed 2 people to get me into at CTP? I zipped it up by myself in 2 weeks' time. That was
I know how you did it.
That was impressive.
You were walking past the rental car, throwing up in the parking lot. I can see where you took the weight off.
That was after the race.
Was that after the race? Okay, my bad.
Yes. Actually, I did almost puke, but not on the plane. Hey, I think I got sunstroke, man. It was a hot-ass day out there on a couple hours sleep and 1 hot dog. Not that Joel didn't feed us good. I couldn't get no food in. That was a tough day there. Hot as heck there in Quebec, but great racing, great day. Wouldn't have it any other way.
It was an awesome day and a good show. Enjoyed it.
Let's get out of here. Thank you to our guests. We appreciate everybody. Don't forget, come see us Friday for Touch Truck, and we'll see you for the APC race at Flamborough on Saturday. Thanks, everybody. Thank you, Spencer. Have a good week, everyone.